trash off that I watch on the YouTube channel or on stream, you just have to join the official Discord. There's a link in the chat right now. Look at that. Look at that. Join the official Discord to drop trash off like this, and this is one of those things. This is by an account called Switchplayed, who is explicitly a Nintendo fan channel, I guess, but also, wouldn't you know it, anti-woke. So the title of this video is called Nintendo is Dead to Me If They Don't Stop This! Tamagotchi Life Controversy. Let's see what the controversy is, shall we? I'm sure this guy's righteous anger towards this video game is correct and in no way lame and insecure. I'm sure this will be fine. Another right-wing Chad just out here being normal.
I have never been closer to canceling my Nintendo account than I am right now. You can't separate...
I don't care, man. Okay, then do that.
You can't separate non-binary from leftist politics and from the trans ideology specifically.
I guess maybe. I would argue that I suppose it would be weird for you to want liberation from gender norms and also be a conservative. Yeah. It would be strange for you to not be conservative on this one pretty new to them front. I do think everyone should have the right to freely express themselves, though. And so I think the right wing will eventually, of course, lose this topic because, like everything, they're just reactionary, scared homophobes that are, you know, they just think trans people are just so fucking gay. Some trans people are straight, man. It would blow your mind.
Nintendo needs to get rid of this ASAP. Nintendo messed up big time with Tamagotchi Life. Nintendo has...
Big time! Are these the only 3 slides of gameplay we have?
Seemingly joined the dark side. They've adopted the darkness the way that Bane did in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh my fucking god, dude. This just came out. This is not an old video. This just came out. Guys, we have hit incel bedrock. I can't fucking deal with this. Non-binary fucking, it's just like The Dark Knight. Alright. Men are canceled. We're not doing men anymore. Every baby henceforth shall be non-binary or female. No more males. Get rid of it. Only 2 genders? Fine. Males are done. No more of them. Non-binary or female. The 2 genders. That's it.
It would appear that Nintendo is now allowing players to choose non-binary as a gender option in their games. At least in this new game, Tamagotchi Life. And the reason that this is problematic first and foremost is that this is primarily a little kid's game.
A little kid's game? Tamagotchi? How'd the kid get a Switch? You can select all the options. All of them? Western civilization has fallen. Is this like Tamagotchis, but now it's Tamagotchi? Or was Tamagotchi always Tamagotchi? I don't think so, right? Those are different things, right? Tamagotchis were little guys. Do you guys remember that? 90s kids? Those were little, like, animals or little characters. Boomer. I think, actually, what it is suffering from whiteness. It's a life sim. Why would they name them so similarly, I never want to hear anyone complain about the English language and their homophones again. I guess they are completely different words with different letters in them. It's probably their fault, though, not mine.
There might be some adults who play this. In fact, there probably are, and I don't know why, but this is mainly a little kid's game, and now Nintendo is allowing pretty much everything with this game.
Allowing pretty much everything? I don't even know what this game is other than you have a little character that you get stuff for. Does it have like a world it walks around in? Or is it just like, it's The Sims, but Nintendo's The Sims? Oh, okay, cool. I like The Sims.
You can have gay marriages and...
You can have gay marriages? So when I was a kid playing The Sims, we could have gay sex. You could woohoo with a dude if you wanted. What's wrong with that?
And you can probably even dress your male character as a female.
Oh, you could dress your male character as a female? Did you know you could do that in real life too, brother? What? You can dress real males with dicks in dresses. You can do that. I think this guy really wants to do this kind of stuff and is too insecure to live that life. Or something like it. Like, it's always this. It's always like, yeah, this scares me because then, they're doing this thing that I would be embarrassed to do. But really, he's like, I wish I could change my hair. You know what I mean? Like, so small. Some fucking guy problem. But I can't. I have to look smacks.
I don't have a problem with either of these things, actually. If you're gay, cool. If you're one gender, but you think that you're a different gender, that's weird, but whatever.
You seem to care a lot. You're just like, Nintendo, you've gone too far. You've gone too far this time. Is he going to say because it's kids? I think maybe you should be checking out the Epstein files or something. The people that have fed you this ideology, this anti-woke ideology, is literally Jeffrey Epstein, not a joke. It's literally Jeffrey Epstein. 4chan's right-wing politics, literally Jeffrey Epstein, not a joke. So you believe you have been groomed by a pedophile, mister. Like, if you're a MAGA guy, if you're an anti-woker, I'm sorry to say you have been groomed like so many others. You are a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. So it's time to recalibrate your thoughts and be like, did a pedophile make me think that other people living their lives freely is bad? Do you think maybe it's not beneficial for me to be opposed to other people's freedom on behalf of the thoughts of a pedophile, the most famous one of all, in fact? I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. I simply wouldn't agree uncritically to a pedophile, frankly.
That's fine. I don't care.
Christian, though,
Care. Do what you
93% of all pedophiles in America self-identify as religious. Did you know that? That's true.
want, but this garbage does not belong in a kid's game. I thought Nintendo had this figured out a long time ago, but apparently something is afoot. This has got to be a NOA Nintendo of America decision, right? But
I guess. Why are we looking at your bad gameplay now? Why aren't we looking at good gameplay of the Tamagotchi game that I came to watch? Why is it instead your stupid shit?
that would mean that Nintendo of America had a hand in the programming, because why would there be a third gender option at all aside from male and female? So it turns out that even the...
Is he just doing a virtue signal? He's like, I play fucking Metroid, which has girl in it? Is that what this is? I assume it's Metroid. I could be wrong. It looks Metroid-y.
Japanese version has a third gender option, but obviously it's not the term non-binary.
It is. Confirmed.
It's simply the word other. So the Japanese version has male, female, and other.
Okay. Are you happy with that? If it said other, would you shut your mouth? So it said they, them. So other is actually more inclusive because it involves neopronouns. But that's okay. Their language for gender is different? No way. Can you believe their language is different?
Which itself is problematic to me, but...
See, you can't be happy either way, you dumb bitch. You're just fucking whiny. You're just a whiny fucking loser. Why are they all like this?
Actually, it makes me very upset that this art you made in this game is not how I would have made
Then make your own fucking game, bro. Oh, you don't have the talent or time or education? Well, deal with other people's art. You're just gonna have to. Eat shit and die. That's what I say. Be mad, I guess. You don't have to live your life like this. You choose to be mad. Cancel your Nintendo subscription, dude. Stop uploading to Switch Played, your Nintendo Switch-focused gameplay YouTube channel.
me, the word other is the lesser evil. Non-binary is strictly a political term.
I absolutely disagree. It is actually a term that has nothing to do with politics whatsoever. It just describes something being not binary. Like, for instance, our solar system is non-binary. It's got one sun, so it's not a binary system. You know? There's computer code that's non-binary because it doesn't use binary code. You know what I mean? It is politicized, not political. It certainly is politicized. If you don't understand what non-binary people are and you really want to talk about why, I would love to have anyone come chat about that topic. But if you want a little TLDR, what you think is a man is not the same as what I think is a man, and I think we can agree on that. Even if you have some pithy sort of like, yeah, because you woke. Yeah, but still, I mean, like, just the concept of what being a man is, just culturally from space to space, is not the same, right? Like, you could come from a Japanese place, and I would not think as an American that all Japanese men are similarly or quite exactly the same as masculine American men at their most masculine forms. Like, they have different aesthetics, you know what I'm saying? And they subscribe to different forms of masculinity that suit their culture, and they're all toxic, but like, you know, or at least for the most part. So like, if we can acknowledge cultural differences in masculinity, certainly we could acknowledge that those cultural differences could fracture beyond just political maps that you think, you know what I mean? So like, you know, Japan isn't actually an existent thing. I know this is very hard. We can't talk about not being a state. No, let's just talk. We can't go into that. That's too deep. That'd be a whole tangent. Anyway, humans are animals that express themselves in a myriad of ways, and to say that because you have a penis you have to be a man is, I think, cooked, and I think you don't have to live that way if you don't want to. So don't, you know? Be a man or don't. It doesn't matter. Be happy first. If being a man was not what makes you happy, and you've been told you ought to be one, I think you should stop. For whatever that means.
It has no basis in reality. There is no such thing as a non-binary person.
Disagree. They're definitely everywhere. Any non-binaries existent in reality right now? They're all over my chat, that's for sure. Look, a non-binary. So anyway, it is simply that if I have a penis or a vagina or a you know, any sort of sexual characteristics you would ascribe to one gender or the other, all they're saying is, nuh-uh. It doesn't determine any form of my expression, or at least not to a degree that I wish to be addressed in that way, right? It's not a joke. I don't know how you can't wrap your head around it. I mean, I guess they don't really know anything about gender at all. They think, I have penis, so I am a boy, and that's it. And it's like, not really, man. What kind of boy are you? Maybe you're a boy that likes to wear dresses. That's okay. It's okay. It doesn't, I mean, why would that bother me? I just want you to be happy. If wearing a dress makes you happy, great. If being considered not either man nor woman makes you happy, and some other non-binary vibe is more your speed, that's great too. I know lots of non-binary people that are quite feminine or quite masculine or quite androgynous and that swap between. You know, you fluidly move around. Like, I don't know how, as just a human being, you can't be like, well, yeah, I guess I could understand how if I was made to be happy by different things, then I would just pursue them. And it doesn't always have to be about what, I don't know, I'm going to assume his name is like Josh or something. Like a guy playing his Nintendo all day doesn't have a say in what makes someone else happy. And I don't know why he thinks he does.
It does not exist. There is such a thing, however, as someone who thinks that they're non-binary. But that doesn't mean anything. And therein lies my problem with it. Some people might say, well, what's the big deal? It's just an option. So if you don't like it, don't pick it. The problem with that is that there are only two genders.
There are not only two genders. As described by literally your lived experience. Like, you are living in a world where people are like, nuh-uh. And so that's true. Because gender is a social construct. Gender is not enforced by sex. It might inform it in some way, but usually only preconceived notions of it. On the like, because you have a penis, do you have to wear pants or a ball cap or a hoodie or like sports? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of Eastern Conference number 1 seed Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham MVP. Let's fucking go. 2 All-Stars this year, just saying. Because I'm a man, it's because I'm a fucking Michigander. And I love sports because I'm a dork. Everyone who loves video games is a dork too. So just be a dork with some other people. Like, you're spending your life being like, you can't be like this, to people who are like, I am like this. You know what I mean? You're wasting your time. Why not just spend time with them instead? Why not get to know a non-binary person before you tell them they can't exist? Because when you talk to them, you're like, wait, they do exist. And then when you ask them, well, what? Like, literally just try to ask. Instead of being embarrassed, try to ask, hey, what is being non-binary like? You'll get a bunch of different answers from people, but it'll mostly be, I don't really feel like man or woman describes me well, and it makes me happy to shed those labels. I feel better without it. It makes sense. Like, has anyone ever called you a nickname you didn't like? Your name's Nick, and some guy says Nicky, and you're like, well, fuck off. You know what I mean? People do that to people all the time. Call you something you don't want to be called. You've been that. That's definitely happened to you. Shitbag, loser, stuff like that.
Male and female. And you can save the male and female versus man and woman gender debate nonsense for something else.
No, we'll do it right here. So you're just wrong because male and female are sex designations described by like gonads and sexual reproductive organs and secondary sexual characteristics. that are like only, like I said, they're secondary, so they don't determine it. Whereas men and women are descriptions of gender and expression. So yeah, I mean you're just wrong about this. Trying to say I'm not wrong while being wrong doesn't make you not wrong. You know what I mean? You're just still wrong. You don't have to be though. If you would like to stop losing this argument, you could by just understanding that sex and gender are different. They are in fact different things. You having a dick does not mean that you have to like guy stuff. What makes you a guy has been socialized into you. You know this to be true. You were taught to be a man. You understand that you have to be taught to be a man. As a man, you understand that. Got to teach my kids, my son, to be a good man. Like, got to teach him to be a man. You really do. Like, you actually do have to enforce that. And you know this, right? Because you're conservative and you're like, well, we can't tell kids they can't do that because if they are told that they can do something else, they will maybe do something else. Like you're acknowledging it that it's true, even though your denial of it is just like, well, you can't. And they're going, yeah, I can. I'm free to do whatever the fuck I want. It's myself. You cannot tell someone else what their self is, you dumb fuck.
I don't care about any of that. Gender is just another word for sex.
It's not.
Has been. I don't accept this modern attempt at redefining it.
It's not a modern attempt at redefining it. It's a sophisticated answer to a question about human complexity that deserves the sort of nuance we're talking about, but it's not like that deep of a nuance. Like I said, sex is determined by your literal physical body, and your expression is your self, which is separate from your physical body. You could literally chop your bottom half off, chop all your secondary sexual characteristics off, and you can do this. And it could happen in an accident. It doesn't have to be a trans thing. It could be a total accident. You'd still be a man if you lost your whole dick, or if you're never born with a dick. That happens too. I mean, you're just freaking out. Yeah, but they have to have a medical condition like that for it to be valid. I disagree. What if you just don't like your dick? I don't care. Don't get it. Don't have one. What if you don't like your vagina or your tits? What if you are a guy and you don't like your dick anyway? And you're like, well, I want a bigger dick. Or you need a smaller one. Probably not this guy, though. This guy's very thin. That's too bad. Noodly.
Gender is sex, and that's it.
Nope.
But you might say that it's just an option. The thing is, though, like I said earlier,
it's not an option. It's like just how you feel.
There are only two genders, male and female. But by putting the
you're wrong. Just asserting it is just like not the play. It's not even an argument.
Term non-binary.
All I should be saying is no, you're wrong, and not even qualifying it with anything, not describing my thoughts, because that's what you're doing. You're not saying here's the alternative. You're not saying here's why I'm right. You're saying no, you're wrong, without offering any other prescription for the experience that humans are facing when it comes to this topic. Like, it's just not a nuanced take. You have a little tiny baby brain, and instead of acknowledging that other people are different than you, you are quite terrified of that. And with all of your insecurity that you can muster, you tell other people that they can't live in a way that would make you embarrassed personally, which is sad as fuck.
In as a third option, what you're doing is you're giving it legitimacy. You're saying that non-binary is just as valid as a male and female when it's not.
It absolutely is. It might even, in fact, be more valid if you think about it, because male and female, men and women, it's like an enforced thing, right? I don't feel like a lot of people come to identify as man or woman as a personal experience. They come to it through their parents and the people around them ushering them into those avenues of gender, which is, whatever. Like, I feel perfectly, as a cis guy, I feel perfectly comfortable like this. I don't feel like I'm not crazy about having a flesh body that has problems at all. But since we're all bound to a meat body, it could definitely have been more troublesome for me to have instead been, I think, born female with the same mindset I have now. I mean, maybe I wouldn't care, but I mean, I'm suspecting I would, just because it would feel dysphoric in this head. So, I mean, could you imagine if you had a pussy? You know what I mean? You had titties right now, and wouldn't you be like, I think for a cis guy who is not quite woke at all, he immediately has this embarrassment, like, oh no, people will know I'm a girl. It's like, think about, like, just think about that. By the way, is like, acknowledge your misogyny. By the way, it's misogynistic to be like, oh no, I'm now lesser because I am girl. Pretty weird. If I was AMAB, I would absolutely transition. Women are the best. Yeah. Women are good. I like women. That's true.
Male and female are real-world things. Non-binary in the human world does not exist.
It really does. So male and female, as you're describing, are bimodal, like chromosomal distributions that happen within humanity, and sex is not even binary. So yes, even in the sense of sex, which is not the topic of gender, but even in the sense of sex, there is in fact non-binary human beings.
So to put them together, you're equalizing them. If you're an adult,
usually we describe that as intersex, but I mean, like, nonetheless, it would be non-binary to the bimodal system of sex distribution, you know?
that's one thing, because we can parse reality from bullshit.
I don't think you can. Probably a Christian, aren't you? You can't parse reality from bullshit. I think that's hilarious. I don't think a guy like this has ever actually thought about reality.
Well, at least some of us can. If you're a kid, though, your mind is like a sponge and you absorb literally everything. That's why you need to teach kids life lessons when they're young to imprint it on them.
To imprint it on them. Listen to yourself. You're like, yeah, well, we can't let them learn the truth about gender. We have to make sure that they really, really are indoctrinated into this incorrect framing of sex and gender, forming them into one thing. I need to groom the kids. Please let me groom the kids. Very Epstein, if you ask me. Quite an Epstein mindset. I don't need kids to live one way or another. I just need them to know that people do. I don't care. I don't need any kid to be trans. In fact, I don't think in my reality kids would be trans, because there wouldn't be such a thing, because we wouldn't have addressed gender that way. You know what I mean? To be trans is only to experience that under enforced gender norms. Like, without the pressure, there's not transness, really. It's just being yourself. Transness is only really not only acknowledging that there's a difference between sex and gender, but also experiencing the difference between sex and gender at the same time. Well, I guess you just have to experience it. You don't have to really acknowledge it. You don't have to know what's going on. Although it's nice if you do.
That they never forget it. But what happens when they're young and they learn wrong things, like that boys can turn into girls, or
God is real,
or that you can pick your pronouns, and
you can definitely do all those things.
Dress like a girl if you're a boy.
Yes, you can. You literally can.
Can't have these things in a kid's game. It's one.
Yeah, you can. You definitely can.
One thing when it's a more mature rated game.
Disagree. I think it's weird that you see boys wearing dresses as a sexual thing. I think it's very telling to your mindset about how you look at little girls. That's crazy. Boy can't wear a dress, it's sexual. Why? Because the bottom's open? You can just fucking get in there or something, man? I've never understood why dresses are like sexy to pedophiles and like conservatives, who I don't make much of a distinction with nowadays. If you're a conservative, the odds that you're pedophilic down the line, pretty high. Pretty high, especially now, knowing what we know about the Epstein files.
But it's a million times worse when it's something like Tomodachi Life, which is strictly...
Except I'm watching everything but that fucking game right now.
A little kid's game. The gay thing needs to get reversed as well.
The gay thing. I don't care if you're gay, but you can't talk about being gay. So if you're a kid and you start experiencing crushes on people in preschool, like I fucking did. My first crush was in preschool. I remember it. I remember her name. I thought she was cute, and I couldn't understand what that meant. It wasn't, I don't have any hormones or like sex drive or like even really the context to pursue or want romance as a child. So I didn't, but I knew that I liked her a lot, and I thought she was pleasant looking, and I remember the experience of being like, I want to look at this person and I want to be around them, and I do not know why. And that's confusing for kids, right? Wouldn't it have been good? And now imagine if I was told I can't feel that way about boys, but I really did instead of girls. It could have just happened. It was girls for me. It always has been. So like, it wasn't boys, so I didn't have to deal with that. But if it's boys, I didn't choose to fucking like this girl. I didn't even really know, in preschool, how much can you even fucking know your classmates other than like, oh, we share toys and we fucking color next to each other. You know what I mean? There wasn't like a real crush there. There's nothing, there's no things that children, and I remember that persisted until I was like fucking 6 or 7 years old, and I've told the story. It was the same girl. Remember I told the story about she said that she really loved Zach Hansen, the drummer from Hanson. She's like, I want to have Zach Hansen's baby. And I was like, damn, that's it for me. I can't pursue this lady. And I never, the crush was dropped. So like, yeah, about 6, 7. Yeah. That's died now, hasn't it? Aren't the kids done with that? Or are they still doing it? I haven't heard much about it. But for real, like how do How do you explain, like, that is such a natural, normal experience for a lot of people, but a lot of people also just like the same sex and experience that too. How are you going to tell people they can't do that? And now we just have a bunch of confused people running around making Nintendo haterade games.
That has no place in a kid's game either. I'm willing to just meet them in the middle. Like, I would prefer if they removed the third gender option altogether, but replacing
You're getting owned by this thing that spins slowly around.
With the word other, that would still be a lot better. I'm sure that was the intention anyway, because that's how it was.
Dude, how are you still getting owned by this? You're watching what it fucking does. You're almost dead. Why am I watching this?
Japanese.
I'm going to be honest. I've not been listening for the last 30 seconds.
The word other implies
he's just on the Japan shit again.
Else that is not male and female, be it robot, fish, or whatever. But
Dude,
the word
your brain moves so slow.
Non-binary implies a leftist political ideology.
It really doesn't, and also you should be a leftist politically and ideologically. So all a leftist, I mean, obviously you have been groomed because you're a little child, baby man, like what, 20 years old at most, saying, "Oh, he can't be leftist, you can't be non-binary." I mean, you've been groomed to say this stuff. Let's be real. You were groomed by the internet. You were groomed by your fucking church. You were groomed by your little politics. You're the victim here, man.
The same sort of ideology that thinks it's okay to laugh at a man who gets shot in the throat for having a conversation. And it's
Charlie Kirk? He's definitely talking about Nick Pretty. He's definitely talking about the American citizens.
The same sort of ideology that thinks it's okay to wish that same fate on his wife and kids.
His wife and kids? Who said... This guy probably got mad at me on Twitter. Who said his wife and kids should die? Who said anything about Charlie's wife and kids, man? Charlie's wife is the one that likes that he got shot the most. Nobody likes that Charlie Kirk died more than Erica Kirk, buddy. Erica Kirk is dancing on that man's fucking grave. You think this fucking crazy-eyed lady doesn't love that shit? She got her groove back when he got fucking shot.
Because you didn't like him. You can't
Mission
separate
failed. You're dog shit, dude.
Non-binary from leftist politics and from the trans ideology specifically.
Apparently you can't separate failure from being a right-winger either.
Nintendo needs to get rid of this ASAP. I have never been closer to canceling my Nintendo account than I am right now.
Oh, please do. That'd be funny as fuck.
It was bad enough when Harvestella had this option on the old Switch, but that was a Square Enix game. Tomodachi Life is a first-party Nintendo game, so Nintendo needs to put the gear in reverse and hit the gas pedal as hard as humanly possible. Reverse course now. That's gonna be it for this video.
This kind of stuff, pathetic. If you're a guy that thinks like this, you need to come talk to me. You need help, brother. You don't have to be this fucking freak. This is so sad to watch.
Reality isn't real because it makes me embarrassed.
All right. Fucking cry or something. I don't know. Anyway, non-binaries in chat, you're dope. If you're non-binary, let me know how non-binary are you on a scale from 1 to infinite, because there is an infinite number of genders. Which gender are you, chat? Put a number to your gender, too. 1, man, obviously. 2, boy. 3, woman. 4, girl. 666, Satan! Satan gender, no!